What's up guys, Shine here from Tech and Games, and it's time for another video. This time I'm doing a follow-up video to a previous video I did, which was how to make a calculator in QBasic. This time I'm making it in Python, and I'm going to show you how to make the most simplest type of calculator that you possibly can in Python. So guys, without further ado, let's get started. So first we're going to create a function, right? So we're going to go def calculator, and then we're going to put the brackets and then the colon. This means that now everything that is indented afterwards is in this function. So we press tab to indent. I'm going to go down a little more, and now we're going to define basically. So we have num1, for example, and we're going to is equal to input. Right now it's going to give us a prompt when we do this. Now it's going to give us some prompt, which is, what is your first number? Right now we're going to put a colon space, and if you want you can even put like a question mark here. Basically now it's going to give us a prompt, and this area right here, the colon and the apostrophe, between that it's going to let you input. Now we move next, and we're going to choose the function, you know, like plus, minus, divide, multiply. And in the function we write function as its name is equal to, and now we're going to do raw input, right? Because in this version of Python, input only counts as 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Everything else is raw input. So now we're going to put in like plus, comma, minus, comma, divide, and comma, multiply. Right now we've put these in, so basically we've defined our functions now. So now, and we just put on the colon space. Now it's going to allow us to put in, so prompt, and then it allows us to put it in. Now we put in num2 is equal to input, and we do the same thing as we did with num1, and we write what is your second number, question mark and colon. Basically give the colon so it allows us to write it. So now we press enter, go down another, and now we give an if statement. So if function is equal to, let's say, plus, right? We're gonna put this in brackets, colon, to show that now everything else that happens, like if the print, it happens, now it happens under this. So we indent it to make it, to show it that it happens under the if statement. Print num1 plus num2, and that's basically all there is to it. So now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put an elif statement now. Elif is basically else and if. You put it together and it makes an elif statement. Over here we're going to do if function is equal to, and you might have noticed that I'm putting in 2 is equal to signs, because in Python if you want something to look like is equal to compare, then you need to put that. But if you want it to like define, then you put 1, as I did above. So now we put in apostrophes, and let's do minus. Now we always put a colon to identify that the next thing which is indented is inside this. That's what we did with the function, and this is what we do with the if and else if statements. Over here we do print num1 minus num2, and yeah, so now we just move on to the next one. So it's basically a very linear way of making it. So now we do elif, we put it in brackets, function is equal to multiply, let's say, multiply, print num1 multiplied by num2, right? And now we're just going to move on to the last one, which is, now I'm going to be using an else, and I'm going to be using another elif statement. So basically what we do is elif function is equal to divide. Now you may have noticed why I'm putting the apostrophes right next to when I put divide or multiply or stuff like that is because up here we defined it as in a string, right? So according to that, we need to put it into apostrophes. So yeah, divide, print num1 divided by num2. Now once we're done with that, now people have a tendency to, like, if you're like showing your friend or something, they might like put in something else other than plus minus divide. So for that we put in else. Now else if, now first we put in elif, right, which is a mixture of else and if. Now we're just putting in else. So anything other than what we have stated above. Print unexpected error. Now that we've printed unexpected error, now we've already called out the function and everything, so now we're just going to come out of the function so we can call it, basically. So when you're done, now the next part is x. For example, you can take any variable. X is equal to y. Okay, let's say we've taken y, so now we put a loop, which is while x is equal to y. Now down here we're basically going to be able to, like, if we finish with this function, it'll allow us to either go again or say no. So we're going to do calculator, call the function, and down here we're going to do x is equal to raw input, which is basically so basically we're gonna write, do you wish to go again, right? We put a question mark, and now over here we do y n and then colon, so we give it an option. So basically this is all there is to writing the code. Now we're gonna open it up here and we're just gonna test it out. So I write Python calculator.py. Yes, you may have noticed that in this else statement I forgot to put in a colon. Yeah, so now it should work. So basically we call that, okay, now what is your first number? Let's say we want a plus, so we do 5. Okay, we do plus, let's do 6, and as you see 11. So now it says, do you wish to go again? And if I say yes, then we're gonna go again. So now I do 6, let's say multiplied by 2, and we get 12. Do you wish to go again? No. So we stop. So basically guys, this is how you make a calculator in Python. Please like, subscribe, and share the video. Bye guys.